Right now, we're expecting a change in leadership at the Beloit School District. We will hear from a former employee who says the superintendent created a negative environment.
And first responders are fighting for a bill that would ensure they're covered when it comes to mental health treatment.
Plus, we're fact-checking some of the statements President Trump made during his rally in Milwaukee last night.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
We start with breaking news from the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Board members from the School District of Beloit will hold a special meeting tomorrow to discuss the resignation of Superintendent Dr. Stanley Monroe. Today, new details surfaced about Monroe's behavior towards staff and administration.
Former employees describing it as hostile and intimidating. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us from a bureau at the Janesville Gazette with more on Monroe's resignation and what he learned about his time as superintendent today. Adam?
Eric and Charlotte, the former school district employee that I talked to today, asked to stay anonymous, but shared stories they say line up with recent reports coming out about School District of Beloit Superintendent Stanley Monroe. Tonight, new details.
I am concerned for our district
regarding the behavior and actions taken by Dr. Stanley Monroe, superintendent of the School District of Beloit.
Certain staff members and teachers had made mention of the behavior, the erratic behavior of the administration.
Today, documents obtained by the Beloit Daily News detail a formal complaint filed against the superintendent made by two top administrators. The complaint accuses Monroe of berating and retaliating against staff, as well as excessively calling and texting them, in addition to other inappropriate behavior.
In results, a lot of them are on medication for anxiety, blood pressure medication, taking way more mental health days between the teachers and the staff.
This former staff member sharing their experience on the grounds they'd remain anonymous.
He has a way of, if he doesn't like you, you don't have a shot. Like, he holds a grudge like I have never seen before. He basically is very cold and he doesn't address you at all.
Now, should Monroe be out as superintendent, it's not clear who would take his place in the interim. The School District of Beloit administration offices were not able to return any of my calls today.
Adam, thank you.
17-year-old is suing the Baraboo School District in federal court, saying administrators ignored claims of racial harassment and sexual assault. Danica
Lewis has been reading through the suit and joins us now with more. Danica.
Well, Charlotte and Eric, that lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court here in Madison today mentions dozens of instances where the plaintiff and her mom reported these events to Baraboo staff and administrators with, quote, deliberate indifference on the district's part. Now, according to those documents, the harassment started when the now teenager was in first grade and continued through middle and high school. It includes things like bullying over her race, consistent use of the N-word in school, and students wearing clothing with the Confederate flag. She also is claiming a fellow student was barely reprimanded after sexually assaulting her in class multiple times a week. According to the lawsuit, that male classmate was later convicted of fourth-degree sexual assault. Baraboo superintendent is responding tonight with a statement saying the district has not been served a lawsuit. And if it does, there would be no comment until review and advisement from legal counsel. We have much more laid out on this suit in more detail over on Channel3000.com.
To weather, the snow has stopped for today, but there is more coming. Let's check your first alert forecast with meteorologist Dave Caulfield.
Yeah, Charlotte, about a half an inch of snow fell today in Madison with some freezing rain and freezing drizzle mixed in, and that made for some slippery travel, especially around the lunch hour this afternoon. But we are noticing on Doppler track that the precipitation trend has been decreasing. I don't think we need to worry about any more freezing drizzle or freezing rain or snow for tonight or tomorrow. Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. Clouds are going to start to clear out, but right now they are still hanging tough. 30 degrees with a wind chill of 24 if you factor in that west-northwesterly wind at 6 miles per hour. Other temperatures in the upper 20s in the Dells, Lone Rock, and Boscobel. 34, the warm spot in Janesville. It is a bit warmer than that in Milwaukee and Kenosha on the shores of Lake Michigan. Wind chills are about 5 degrees colder than what the thermometer is suggesting, although wind chills will become a big factor as we get into tomorrow morning. Going to have to bundle up the kids heading off to school or daycare because wind chills could be as cold as 10 below zero with temperatures dipping into the single digits for tomorrow with clear skies. We'll talk more about that, plus some snow on the way for Friday and Saturday in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Dave, thanks. More than 100 Wisconsin firefighters are lobbying for a bill today that they say will save lives.
We first told you about the bill last week, which would remove barriers for firefighters and police to get workers' compensation for post-traumatic stress disorder. Madeline O'Neill tells us what that would mean for the helpers in our community and why one paramedic would like to see the bill go even further.
Charlotte and Eric, as things stand right now, a Supreme Court case ruling makes it really difficult for first responders to meet the standard required for workers' compensation for PTSD because they must demonstrate their diagnosis is based on extraordinary stress for the job, in a job where stress is pretty ordinary. This bill would change that, but there's an additional group that would like to be covered too.
It's nice to be able to help.
With everything emergency responders do on the job,
You see horrendous, horrible things that no one should have to see.
sometimes the helpers need help too.
There's nothing we can do to avoid that because somebody has to go and help.
Devin Anders, a paramedic for Deer Grove EMS, has had his own bouts with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Stuff started really affecting me when I had children, and we'd treat children or see them, severely injured or worse.
It's not just him.
I know people at my job have done the same thing.
For these firefighters, getting help for PTSD is another burden.
I had to tell that firefighter, you're going to get pushback. The employer or the insurance company, they're going to conclude this is just part of your job, and so it's not extraordinary stress. Sorry.
That's why these first responders are lobbying lawmakers at the Capitol to support a new bill allowing workers' comp for public safety officers.
If we can make it so that people are able to come back to the job instead of being forced out or worse, having such mental anguish that they're, contemplating taking their own lives, this is essential legislation.
Anders supports the bill, but there's just one more hurdle.
I won't be covered. My coworkers and 71 other people in Dane County alone that work full-time as paramedics won't be covered.
As the bill stands, full-time EMS workers are not covered, something Anders hopes to change after the current bill is passed.
It will change lives.
The lives of those who are busy saving hours.
This affects every single one of us.
Again, police and fire department members are covered by the current bill, just not full-time EMS workers. This bill has bipartisan support. Senator Andre Jacques expects the bill to be on the Senate floor sometime next week.
Maddie, thank you.
Conservative State Supreme Court Justice Dan Kelly's campaign has raised more than $500,000 during the final half of 2019. His total for the year up to $800,000, significantly higher than his two challengers. Dane County Circuit Court Judge Joe Karofsky has raised just under $350,000. And Marquette Law School Professor Ed Falone has raised more than $150,000 total. President Trump is hoping to win Wisconsin again this November.
He highlighted his apparent successes at a rally in Wisconsin last night, but how accurate was his speech? Amy Reed has this News 3 Now reality check.
President Trump made a lot of claims on his successes in the Badger State at his rally last night, and as far as data can take us, they're true.
In Wisconsin, the unemployment rate has reached its lowest level in history. How's that for a soundbite?
Reality Check rates this claim as true. In April of 2019, the Bureau of Labor Statistics had Wisconsin's unemployment rate at 2.8%, a record low. Now, current data shows it's gone up a little to 3.3%.
Drug overdose deaths, the overdose deaths, fell for the first time in decades, including by 10% in the state of Wisconsin.
This reality check rates as true, though technically it's between 9.1 and 9.9%, depending on if you count all drug overdose deaths or just those from opioids. Still, it's quite close to the claim of 10%. The caveat here is he's claiming credit for these successes. Reality check can't confirm that there's nothing else involved.
In the city of Madison, police arrested an illegal alien for sexual assault. After authorities released him, he committed violent battery, only to be released one more time.
This claim is also mostly true, though we couldn't confirm with the campaign the person Trump is referring to. There is an undocumented immigrant who has gone through the Dane County court system 3 times, though the first charge was not for sexual assault. He's currently being held in the Dane County jail. This speech was not without error, though. He claimed median household income has gone up $10,000 in his time in office. It's gone up about $1,400, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. There are more claims that have been fact-checked by journalists across the country. We'll link you to those findings on our website. With this News 3 Now reality check, I'm Amy Reed.
Less than a month away from the Iowa caucuses, the Marquette Law School poll released today shows Joe Biden as the top choice among Wisconsin Democratic primary voters. 23% selected the former VP as their first choice, 19% Senator Bernie Sanders, 15% chose Mayor Pete Buttigieg. However, 60% of Democratic primary voters say there's still a chance they could change their minds.
Once Iowa votes, there will be a real scramble of the standings. As New Hampshire votes following that, that will perhaps restore someone or perhaps completely sink someone. So what I'm saying...
Now, the poll also included hypothetical general election matchups between the president and Democratic candidates. All show close races within the poll's margin of error, with Biden and Sanders as the only 2 candidates projected to win Wisconsin over President Trump.
State health officials are warning ice fishers not to eat their catches from Starkweather Creek and Lake Monona. A recent DNR sampling found elevated levels of PFAS in fish tissue and surface water at multiple locations along the creek and in the lake. PFAS are human-made substances found in products like nonstick cookware, and the more contaminated fish you consume, the higher your risk for health problems. Next at 6, the Boys and Girls Club opens a new location in Sun Prairie.
We'll take a look inside and share why the services available there are so different from other locations. An Eastside cocktail bar is moving to a new location not too far away. That's according to Madison.com. Jade Monkey on Cottage Grove Road moving a block away over to Monona Drive, taking the place of a former pharmacy that's bigger and safer now. That space. Paper reports the owner hopes to open the new location by the middle of May, but it has yet to be approved by a city committee and the full Common Council first. Second round of grants is now available to replace Madison Metro buses thanks to fines that Volkswagen paid for cheating on emissions tests.
Across the state, $20 million will go toward replacing aging diesel buses with new, efficient buses. In total, Wisconsin will be the beneficiary of more than $67 million over a 10-year span to offset excess pollution Volkswagen caused. The Boys and Girls Club of Dane County has officially opened the doors to their third club. The McKenzie Family Boys and Girls Club will serve children and families in Sun Prairie. A $1 million donation from John and Joe Ellen McKenzie, along with other community donations, made this possible. The club will offer programming to 190 young people, and unique to this club, it includes early childhood programs.
The cost of preschool care is so expensive that if you're a parent on limited income, it must be a great anxiety of how you care for your kids. The Boys and Girls Club are stepping into that space.
The club is looking for donations as they get up and running. So if you have any art supplies, games, Legos, or musical instruments you'd be willing to donate, you are asked to drop them off at the administrative offices off the Todd Drive exit of the Beltline.
Still ahead at 6, there's a possible winter storm on the way later this week.
Dave tells us how much snow we could see coming up in your First Alert forecast.
For first, fast, accurate weather updates, watch First Alert Weather.
Good evening. I hope you had a really nice Wednesday. We saw another round of wintry, just not funness outside today with some snow, some freezing rain, some freezing drizzle. As we take a look at Doppler track right now, we are quiet though across southern Wisconsin. I expect that to be the case tonight into tomorrow. But Friday and Saturday, some more fun could be on the way. We still do have some uncertainty with that system. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Live look in Madison. Skies will clear gradually tonight and temperatures will fall quickly. Right now, though, those clouds clouds are being a bit stubborn and temperatures are still right around 30 degrees. Highs today in the low 30s, so another day with above normal highs in Madison, about 5 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. We've only had one day so far this winter with below normal highs in Madison. Just simply incredible. I think that streak will come to an end, though, as we get into next week as the cold weather looks to settle in. Alert days in the forecast for Friday and Saturday. We are pretty confident when it comes to the timing of this system. The snow will develop during the afternoon hours and last into the late afternoon and evening across southern Wisconsin. Some accumulation is possible to likely at this point, but really what we're watching is the possibility of some freezing rain and rain mixing in early Saturday morning as that system circulates through the area. Still looking like some likely travel impacts are in the cards for us into late Friday and early Saturday. Right now, winter storm watches, these go into effect, or at least this is for the time period of Friday afternoon into Saturday afternoon. Right now, those watches are west of Madison. I expect them to be extended to the east either tonight or tomorrow. As far as wind chills go, it could feel quite cold as we start off tomorrow morning with wind chills of 0 to about -10 possible to start off Thursday. So bundle up the kids as they head out the door, and as you head out the door as well. It's going to be a cold start to our Thursday, and as we could see, the clouds clearing is going to allow those temperatures to dip into the single digits to start Thursday. Even with plenty of sunshine tomorrow, I think highs only making it into the mid-teens after a cold start once again. Friday morning, those temperatures will increase in advance of that snow. Note the time here, folks. This is around 5 p.m. We still could have some snow bands making their way into southern Wisconsin at this time. So we're confident in the snow starting everything off on Friday. Now, this is the part that we're still a little bit of uncertainty, or we're a little bit uncertain about this part, I should say, with the possibility of some rain or freezing rain mixing in. That could cut down on snow totals, especially close to the state line. So that is really what we are keeping an eye on at this point. We're pretty confident in what I was talking about, but again, if we get that freezing rain or rain to develop, we could see those snow totals go down. We should have a better idea on that over the next 24 hours or so. We have a good idea that the cold is settling in as we get into next week.
The LaFleur family needs to figure out who's going to wear what jersey for the Packers-Niners game this weekend. Hump Day Sports next. If it's a race to 60 points, the smart money is usually on the Wisconsin men's basketball team, and they showed it again last night with a gritty win over Maryland. And when you say gritty, you're usually talking about Brad Davison. 13.6 seconds to go. Maryland ball up 1. Daryl Morcell inbounds, but Davison pokes it away, stays in bounds, and knocks it off Morcell. So the Badgers get the ball back under their own basket. And Davison buckets, mean mugs. Badgers win it 56-54. That would be 3 straight wins over ranked opponents.
You know, those are shots that we drill, whether it's in practice or if I'm in here late nights, early mornings. Those are kind of shots that, you know, you dream about and you think about. So to have the opportunity, very thankful for that opportunity and see the ball drop. But most importantly, that's a big win for this team. You know, I think whenever you can stack 2 wins in a row in this league, especially this year, it goes a long ways, and it'll make Friday a really fun game.
Talk about a stacked wrestling conference. You talk about the Big Ten. For example, Badgers 149-pounder Tristan Moran going to face the 5th, 3rd, and top-ranked wrestlers in the country in the same week. So expect a few fireworks Friday night when number 4 Wisconsin hosts number 3 Ohio State.
You know, I keep telling these guys, this is what we signed up for. Every one of us knew we were signing up to be in the Big Ten Conference. This is what it's about. You know, he'll be up for it. He'll be rested. He'll be ready to go. And like the rest of our guys, it's going to be one heck of a match Friday night.
It'll be a family divided Sunday in San Francisco. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur's brother Mike is the passing game coordinator for the 49ers. And when asked what it's going to be like for his parents to watch, Matt said, well, they're going to the Super Bowl one way or the other. Matt said there's a little different vibe this week from when they played in Week 12. As expected, Matt and Mike won't be talking much, if at all, but that's just because this is one of the biggest games they've both been a part of.
Anybody that knows me knows how much my family means to me, and my brother and my parents and my wife and kids. And so it is an emotional deal, but this is not about us. This is about the Green Bay Packers versus the San Francisco 49ers, 2 great football teams, and with the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. So it doesn't get any bigger than that.
Some say the sequel is never as good as the original, but I have a feeling Packers 49ers Part 2 is going to be closer than their first game this season, I think. The 49ers dominated the green and gold 37-8. Aaron Rodgers played one of his worst games, but if you ask the Niners if they think that matters Sunday, they say no.
That game got away from them early, and I mean, that's definitely not the team we're going to see this week. I mean, everyone knows how good Green Bay is, how good their coaching staff is, how good their players are, how good their quarterback is. So, I mean, I think that game really holds 0 relevance on what's going to happen this Sunday.
Packers fans take a backseat to no one. Chiefs fans are just as hardcore, having covered a few games there. I've seen the Zubaz pants and the tailgating up close. It's real, but not at Sunrise. I wasn't there for that. They'll be set up to tailgate again this Sunday when they host the Titans in the AFC title game. Temperatures in the low teens when everyone will be breaking out the grills and the food and the extra layers. So, yeah. I mean,
playoff times when the diehards come out. All right, Dave, final check.
Low teens. How about single digits tomorrow morning with wind chills of about -10? So off to a cold start tomorrow. Alert days in the forecast Friday and Saturday for that snow coming through Friday afternoon into the day on Saturday.
All right, Dave, thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.